it's Lori, Late Night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Craftin. Welcome. I didn't think I was ready to go live, but it did. So, welcome. This is Thursday, December 11th, and I'm actually going live truly before midnight. So, let me just move some of this stuff out of the way and get my devices set up so I can see who's joining me live. It's interesting that on my iPad it says the video is upcoming, and then on my computer it says live. Give me just a minute. There, I think we're good to go. So it didn't even let me do the picture or anything so that you had a little thumbnail. So here we are. Couple of quick announcements and then we will get down to business. I do have my phone plugged in, so hopefully the picture shape won't change like it has recently. So first things first, I have a new online store link. The store is the same. Hopefully I'll be adding some more content once the holiday season kind of settles down. But I'm now at latenightlori.stampinup.net. Feel free to join me there, shop with me there, look for projects there and ideas, and see all of the things that's going on with Stampin' Up. Next, we have a new catalog coming up. So there's my little thumbs up. Sala, if you come on, make sure Amanda knows I got my thumb up, not down. So this new annual or this new mini catalog goes live in just a few weeks now. January 6th is when this will be live. I am not allowed to show you the inside of the catalog. I can only show you the cover. But as you'll see tonight, when I have products in my hand, I can show you those products and I can show you what I make with them. So stay tuned for that. It'll be exciting. Once that goes live, I can do a little walkthrough and we can go through some of the things that I thought were my favorites. Stampin' Up! Is doing this virtual card retreat, January 22nd and 23rd. This just went on sale yesterday, and we have free shipping right now. So through the end of the day on Friday, Utah time, you can get free shipping. There's a paper pumpkin sale right now where if you're a subscriber, you can get pass kits, refill kits, and add-on items. I think they're on sale. I haven't looked. I need to look. I forgot to do that when I entered my order the other day. But this virtual card retreat I'm looking forward to it. I ordered mine already. And by ordering this, you also qualify for the product of the month. So I'll talk about that in a second. But this virtual card retreat, it's an online 2-day event. The people from Stampin' Up, they're wonderful. They will basically be teaching us all kinds of little tips and tricks. And there we go. Get my cable up out of the way a little bit. I guess maybe that didn't work. We'll see if that stays up there. They will give us tips and tricks, hopefully backstory to some of the products. There will be an exclusive set of products. We'll get cardstock, embellishments, designer series paper, pre-cut items like ephemera pieces. That'll all be in there, and those things will be labeled as to what project they go with, and it's going to be 15 avid cards. So this will not be for the faint of heart. Probably, unless you're really crafty, it might not be easy for a beginner crafter to follow along and craft at the same time. So keep that in mind. If you do purchase that, and if you are local to me, I am planning on having the studio open and we can make a watch party of it. So this product of the month, if you have a qualifying order of $75 or more before your tax and shipping, you can add this to your cart for just $5. There was an announcement earlier today or yesterday. It might have been yesterday. There were already over 10,000 of these purchased. So that's a lot of designer series paper. It's going to be gorgeous. It uses Night of Navy and Balmy Blue, and I'm really looking forward to working with it. We did case this card a few nights ago, and I will probably case these other cards once I get all of my things. So there's that. We got a couple of new kits this month, and I am down to the bottom of my pile. So this is a card I did last night. If you want to see a train wreck, watch yesterday's video. I just made it live a few minutes ago because I usually let them cycle through and analyze for 24 hours. I do like the end result. So hopefully you can see that. It did turn out really nice. I was using a layout that I saw and then I couldn't find. So I had looked at it once and then it was gone. I couldn't find it. So we just kind of wing it, you know, when that happens, and you do with what's in your head as best you can. But I do like how it turned out. It was rough getting there. So if you want a good laugh, you can watch yesterday's little video there. So let's see what else we got here. I got a few little odds and ends kind of cluttering my desk here. Let's see if I can adjust this just a little bit. All right, I think we're good to go. So tonight, I thought what I would do, hi Yuda. Yesterday I said I was getting anxious to use some of my new things. And I did an unboxing when I got my new things. I've gotten a couple of orders, little ones, but now I have another order and I have to place another one. MacMan, if you're listening, sorry, it's more crafting stuff that's necessary to fit in the box that I call our house. It all fits in a box, right? So anyway, this is the designer series paper I'm going to use. This is called Love Notes. So they're mix and match designer series papers. It's Azure Afternoon, Cherry Cobbler, Flirty Flamingo, Garden Green, Gorgeous Grape, Real Red, and Black. All right, so I am not necessarily making a Valentine's Day card because I know that's not everybody's jam. But I do want to show you. These are really cute. So one side of this one has words and the other side just has the images. I didn't notice that the first time that was the pattern. Hey, Juju. I think MacMan is still awake. Aha. So Apple Tart, you've never disclosed your real name before. So welcome. We kind of gathered that you were a baker. So we're crafters. So I suppose it's just art in a different form, right? And these are the same kind of thing. We've got these images and there's no words on the back, but there are some cute little tags on there. And then this is a nice little frame piece. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like 8 of each one. So that has some cute little words on it. And then that one's kind of cute too. I actually pulled this one out today because the sketch that I'm going to follow, all right, go for it, Juju, we'll be here. The sketch I'm going to follow, I thought this piece would work really well with. And then the back side of this is pretty cute too. I like the color combination. And is that the garden green? What did I say that was? Where did I put that? I lost my thing. Oh, here. Yeah, garden green. So that's garden green with different tints. Hello, Stacy McCatitude Crafters. Welcome back. Welcome back. So I really like that color combination. The greens, the lights and the darks of the garden green. And with the pinks, I think that's pretty cool. And this is a fun little stripe. So we've got the cherry cobbler, the real red, and some white in there. And then just a nice little kind of hash plaid on there. And then this is gorgeous grape with probably flirty flamingo. Yeah, flirty flamingo is that's actually the only pink in this. So, and then there's the backside with all those like swirly hearts. So we are going to use some of this today. Valentine's special, ready for a nice Valentine's cake with cinnamon hearts. It's kind of early to do Valentine's baking, isn't it? But I'm not actually going to do a Valentine's card. I am going to do a card just for somebody that maybe I want to say I love you sort of thing. You know, It could be, hi, Steph. Juju's here too, but she left for a second. She'll be back. The sketch that I saw, it just kind of came across my feed. So I just kind of wrote it down in my head quick so that I wouldn't have the same problem I had yesterday because I didn't write that sketch down. But it's basically your regular card. There's 3 panels on here and then the top with the everyday arches, which I haven't used a whole lot. I need to use these more. And then these pieces here just kind of like float. So we'll see how it works out.
Good night, ladies.
Macman said good night. Of course, he said ladies. I think, Robert, that would include you as well. Okay, and then I've got this Hearts of Love 3D embossing folder. Now that's really, I mean, it's got these like, I don't know, sunburst sort of shapes on there. I don't know, but with the hearts. I don't know if we'll use this tonight or not, but I did pull it out of my shipment box, so we'll see. He'll see your comments at some point. He's funny. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to cut this out right away because I want to just have that laid out so it'll help me kind of visualize all these other things on here. Oops, I don't want my trimmer. I need my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. This is not a kit, actually. This is just the designer series paper. Juju is Love Notes. This is new. It's available on pre-order, so you are eligible to get that. Oh, you know, there probably is a suite, but maybe I did get the suite because I have some embellishments too. Let me look. Oh, yeah. I forgot. See, I have some fun stuff in here. I've been trying not to use it too early. So there's also these embellishments. I had to use super glue on the crack on my thumb again because it kept splitting open. So look at these, if I can get this open. These are so cute. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, let me find one of the little letters. There's these, oh, let me try to zoom in a little bit. That might make it easier to see too. All right, so there's these little envelopes. There's little hearts. There's little spritzes. Oh, look at these. These are little lips. I didn't even notice that before. So these are going to be really fun. And maybe I'll leave these out because we could maybe use some of that on our card. I'm not even going to put it back in the baggie because it'll probably make it worse. And then I got these treat bags. I did an unboxing for all this a bit ago. So these are the Hearts gusseted treat bags. And I could probably, let me zoom back. Oops. There we go. Maybe that'll work. Sorry if I'm shaking you around too much. Sorry. But the paper is adorable. And then these dies are from the Everyday Arches. I don't remember if, I think they're still active. I don't know. Yeah, aren't they adorable? I love all the papers. I really like this one. This is kind of like your vibe, isn't it, Juju? It's kind of retro looking, kind of classic looking. You could probably do it with some of your old portrait kind of pictures for your journaling, huh? See, now since I've been watching some of you gals with your junk journaling, I kind of pay a little bit more attention to what might work with your craft. I'm just more aware of it. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, so we'll have this piece right away. And that's cute. I love that arch. Oh, and then we need to decide if we want to layer this with cherry cobbler. So let me get this out of the way for just a second, because I'm going to make a little bit bigger arch as well. Maybe I should make this one a little bit smaller. Yeah, I'm going to make that one smaller because I don't want it to get so big that it covers up everything. Yeah, Robert, you need to tell us where you're joining us from. It's always fun to see where the reach is. So we've got cherry cobbler. And now I happen to have a cherry cobbler done already embossed with that plaid. And that might be kind of fun. Okay. And I brought in some Flirty Flamingo. And that's just the darker version of this. This is tinted Flirty Flamingo, so it's a little bit lighter. Well, that's what we're trying to decide, Yuta. What do we want as the base color? Or, well, I guess the base color I had as white. Never mind. My head's in a different place. So I was just thinking it would be white to kind of set it off, but we could do any combination, actually. So let's say we did Flirty Flamingo for the base. We could do some of the layers in real red. And so here with these little rectangles on here, Whitby, Canada, close to Toronto. You know, Robert, you might have told us before that you were in Canada. That kind of sounds familiar. Juju's in Mississippi. I'm in Wisconsin. I don't think I said that when I opened up. Yeah, MISSISSI, PPI. All right, so do we want the base to be white or do we want the base to be a different color? Now, I also brought in some strawberry slush, but that's really not one of the colors on the palette for the designer series paper. And I can see why, because while it is a pink, it just doesn't work with the colors here. So I'm going to set that one aside. We're not going to use that. I grabbed that one before I really looked to see what the colors in the designer series pack were. And then I also have Pretty in Pink. Now this is one of our current in colors. It's on its second year, so in May it's going to be done. What about Double Arch in 2 colors on white? We could, because this arch here, there'd be this arch that I'm going to make smaller actually, and then we'll have another arch behind it. And then we could do a third arch if you want. But I figured, I was thinking either real red, that was the other color, either real red or cherry cobbler for the other arch. Should I cut them first so that we can see how it looks? I mean, it won't take long to run them through the machine. The cherry cobbler, the darker one. Yeah, I like that one. I think it works good with the heart. I think that cherry cobbler looks good. All right, so let me get the real red out of the way. And as I was saying, this is Pretty in Pink. This is on the second year of, our in colors go for 2 years. Their cycle is 2 years and then they alternate. So every year we get 5 new colors, but then every year 5 colors go away, if that makes sense. So this is the color series from 24 to 26. So at the end of our annual catalog for 26, this is one of 5 that will be retiring. Okay. So I don't think that's the right pink either. I just grabbed a bunch of pinks because I know several of you are into the pinks. So we'll put those over there. I also brought over Petunia Pop, but it's too purpley. Let me get rid of these gusseted bags. All right, so let me go ahead. Do we want to use the Forever Plaid as a layer? Not a whole lot would show. We could actually use that for some of the other layers too, though. So let me cut this down. I'll cut this down quick. And I like running, if I ever have a curved edge, I like to run that first. If I run it like this, the straight edge makes those rollers in here work harder. So I always try to put the curve first or lead with one of the corners instead of the straight edge. And I know most of you have heard me say that before, but sometimes when people aren't chatting with us, I don't know if somebody's new. So here's this one. Now, there are a lot of little holes in here that should open up, but they're itty bitty. So if you just run like your fingernail across there, I don't know if you can see it, but I can see those are opening up now. So it makes it more of a dotted design. I'll try to go both ways. So there's still a few that didn't look like they quite opened up. But that's how that works. All right, and then let's do, oh, did I just do that in the wrong size one? I did. I did that in the smaller one, and I wanted that one in the bigger one. I want this one in the smaller one. It's just paper. Oh, and I guess we need to tip this a little bit. You don't need to see, whoopsie, what did I just do? Oh, I just flipped it. There we go. That was weird. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Usually I can't find those when I'm looking for them. At least you got a good picture of my clean ceiling, hey? We could probably keep this and do something with that, hey? That could go in the juju pile. All right, let me get another piece of this cherry cobbler. And I'll just cut that out of a piece that I had already cut for something else. Hi, Tanya. All right. Once I get these few things cut out, then I'll get rid of some of this clutter too, because then we'll be doing some straight cuts with the trimmer. All right, so again, I'm just going to try to open up some of these little like stitch holes on here. And if they don't open up going one direction, then I just try to turn it and go the other way, and that usually gets most of them. All right. Now, do you think we need a third arch? I'm thinking just the two on whatever color we use for the base, so we'll see. Get that out of the way. When I've got all these little dots here, itty bitty dots. So what color do we want our base to be? Do we want, this is too small, so we'll just set that one aside. Do you think we want our base white? And let me cut this down so that we can kind of see what it looks like. Oh, I missed the clover. I must have missed the clover. So yeah, we'll see what it looks like on white, because I don't want it to be super dark. Oh, Steph, was that something that you had on your, do you do videos or on your page? All right, so there's that. So let's just get the extra one out of the way. You like the striped one on the left. This one here. To do like a second card or to do a layer on here? Because if we're going to go like this, actually, we're going to end up cutting this down. So let's do that too. Because according to the sketch, wherever I stuck that, these, there's like an inch on here. So I'm going to cut this. Yeah, I'm just going to cut that an inch. So we're going to go 5 1/4. So this will be 5 1/2 by 5 1/4. And then score it at an inch or at 4 1/4. Whatever trips your trigger. So this is going to be like this. And then we need a new, I can use some of this. So let me trim this to 4 1/4. And then messenger group called Chatty Crafters. Any of you are welcome to join. Just message you. Okay. We'll see if this is allowed. Oh, it keeps removing them, huh? It keeps removing you from my page or from your own. All right, so if we go like this will be 4 1/4. So according to the sketch, there's going to be one of these on the top, one at the bottom, and one in the middle. So, and there's going to be layers. So you've got the white layer, you've got a dark layer, and then you have a light layer. And I figured we could probably make that flirty flamingo to go with this, or we could use, oh, got it. Yes. And vice versa. All right, so let's go ahead. And if I've got this at, let's do this at 3, and then I'll just do 1.5 inch strips. And then I'll cut another one that's 1.5 by 4 1/4. You probably can't see my trimmer, but I think most people know how to trim stuff. All right. So we're going to have this attached here, this attached here. Now, don't ask me what the purpose is to have these 3 open ends, but I thought it looked kind of cute, and we'll see. We might put a different piece of designer series paper on the back to cover this all up. I don't know, because sometimes I do that. All right, so let's do 4 1/4 and 1.5 inches. We'll see. All right. So that would be our 3 pieces across here. This will end up going like here-ish, but that's a lot of white, right? So we're going to put some other colors on here, maybe for visual interest. Exactly. So I think I'm going to cut a few of these layers, and we'll go 4 1/4. Let's go 4 1/16, because I kind of want to have a narrow border maybe. And then instead of 1.5, we'll go down 1/16. So it'd be 1 3/8, I think. Yeah. All right, so 4 1/8, 4 1/8 this way, and then 1 3/8 this way. Yeah, DSP I think will be a good option, because there's lots of fun choices in this pack. So that'll kind of go there. But we just want some framing going on. All right. So that'll kind of go there. So again, this background here, this brushed piece, and I suppose I can get this out of the way because that's probably just distracting. This brushed piece is just a tint, a lighter shade of that Flirty Flamingo. All right, so that'll kind of go like that. And then let's figure out what other designer series paper do we want to use. Did somebody say this striped one? I kind of like this. It's a lot of solid. Yep. Stacy, were you the one that originally said the stripe? Yes, you were. So if we're at, this should be, let's see if 4 works. And I'm just visualizing the stripe going horizontally. Does anybody think it should go up and down instead? So horizontal or up and down. Or we could do some of each. We could do like the top and the bottom going one way, and then the middle one going an opposite way. Juju, you don't like the stripes? Horizontal? Horizontal. Okay. So let's do 4 inches and see how that looks as far as our layers. Yes, so we're just going to have that 16th inch border. And then if this was 1 3/8, so I just need 1 1/4. All the same, okay. So 1 1/4, and then I'll just measure it up so that I can see that we're doing it all right. Yep, 1 1/4, and then we'll just have a nice little border on there. Now we could do the cherry cobbler as a border instead of that flirty flamingo. We'll see. All right, 1 1/4. And I'm gonna do these all in the order that it comes in the paper. So I don't know that it'll matter, but in my brain it will. So if there was like a continuous pattern, it would flow. All right, so that would go there. Now, the other thing, if we used, that would be too busy. I was thinking if we did another piece of designer series paper to kind of do the backing here, it would show through to the front and it might end up being a little busy. Like it would be here on this side, but then on this side, it would be way too busy. Yeah, I'm not going to get these all flipped over. And that might not be too bad, but that's kind of busy to me. Because that would be like that, and that was that way. See, I think with the blue plaid, even with just a little bit on there, I think that's a little busy. So what I'm gonna do is, you like to do that too? Yeah, no, that blue is just not gonna work. All right, so let's get some of this debris out of the way. Way busy. Now, if there was one of these that had just had a really minimalistic pattern, because that one would have nice colors, but even that is still too busy, and that would be the other side of this. So you would see that on the inside of the card too. So the mini hearts, let me see the mini hearts. What's that on the front of it? Is that these? I think these are the mini hearts. I think the purple on the front is going to be a bit much. Let's trim it to 4 1/4 and we'll see. And I'm not gonna, do we want the mini hearts on the inside of the card? Okay, and then the purple on the inside. Oh, that would probably work, huh? See, that's why you ladies and gents are here. Just pretend that this is cut off at the right level, okay? And are we happy with the flirty flamingo, or do we want the cherry cobbler? So that'll be there. And let me get like a block to hold this down a little bit. Well, we could build the front, except that these pieces are kind of like the middle of the front. Because that'll go there. And then this will go here. And then this will go here. I do kind of like that. And then this piece, we can take another one and put it under here. Ooh, I like how this is coming up. Who needs that old sketch? We'll do it our way. Because the sketch didn't have all that on there. The sketch just had, this here was all white. this piece behind these strips, that was all white. And here I've written open. So there was nothing here, and then just a white card base at the back. But I kind of like it with all these hearts on there. So Steph, you're saying the golder or the darker instead of the flirty flamingo in here? You're saying darker? Because that would kind of work with this. I was kind of thinking darker too, but you know, it's kind of your thing. I'm going to trim this down to 5.5. Try one with a darker arc. You mean this arc here? This is the darker red. That's the cherry cobbler. The real red is gone. Oh, or you wanted the real red under here? Got it. I'm going to cut it anyway because I want to see how it looks. So we're going to do 5.25. And this is at 4.25. I'm just going to trim it in ever so slightly. So this will go inside. And then that'll go out there. This will get trimmed to 1 inch. Maybe it'll get trimmed to maybe 3/4 of an inch. Because then we can have a little white border on that also. Oh, good night, Yuta. Thanks for playing. And I'm going to have that go the full side of the card here. All right, so this one we'll do, whoops, we'll do this like so. And that'll just have a little white border on the edge. I don't know if we want more color going up and down and sideways. So let's go ahead and get some, get some cherry cobbler pieces here. Let me get these arches out of here. A little less debris on the table will do me good. Hello, Nicole. Welcome from Perth. So you're 5, are you like 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. where you are? It's Friday already for you. So you finished your Friday workday, right? All right, let's put this back. Okay, sorry, pardon my reach. All right, what was I doing? I was going to get some of these strips. Let's just try. Let's try these in the dark just to see what it looks like. And we've got 4 1/8. 4 1/8. It's already right on there. Good. And then 1 3/8, I think. Yeah, 1 3/8. We're just going to see how that looks. All right, let's take this out. I kind of like it with that dark. That just makes it stand out. Don't you think? Nicole, you need snow? Oh, we have lots of snow here, but I'm thinking it might not be snow when. Okay, so my time was off. So you're only like 12 hour. No. Yeah, 12. 13. You're 13 hours different. Okay. One of these days I might get those time zones all in my head. All right. I personally am kind of thinking that the dark really does those striped pieces justice. What do you think? So you're 13 hours ahead of me. I gotta make myself a note. Perth is plus 13. So you're 4 hours different than Melbourne? Does that sound right? Because I've got Melbourne as being 17 hours ahead of us, where I am in Wisconsin. All right, so these darker ones really, I think it really makes it pop nice. Way to go, stuff. All right, so 4 1/8 and 1 3/8. And then we'll take care of this one as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing those pieces together. And I can glue these two together also. That would be cute too with a little saying on it. So much to do with this paper that, I mean, this kind of has like a Valentine's Day vibe, but if I gave it to one of my good friends, it just, I think it more depends on the sentiment than anything else, if it's Valentine's or not. I know somebody on here has said they don't recognize or celebrate Valentine's Day. So this could be an anniversary card. It could be just a thanks for shoveling the driveway, honey card. It could be almost anything. All right, I'm going to get this trimmer out of the way for right now because I don't need the extra debris. All right, so let's glue these pieces together. And I guess I don't need this piece. And then that's our other three. I typically like a lot of contrast, so when Steph suggested the darker one, I was like, yes. And I like the glue because it gives me some wiggle room. And I've said this before, but if your fingers are getting, if you've got a big mess when you do glue, it means you're using too much glue. Okay? Robert, are you still with us? If your frosting is oozing out of the layers, you might have just enough. All right, I think that's going to be quite pretty. Just checking, Robert. So do you have other creative outlets, Robert, or just baking? Not that just baking should sound like it's not enough. And do you do just pastries or other kind of bakery as well? You use too much, huh, Steph? Yep, if you're getting glue all over, you need to use less. And you can see kind of when I put mine on, not so much with this one because it's probably hard to see, but I just have a very thin layer, and then I use the tip of the bottle to just kind of smear it as I go. Of course, I get ridges around here where the glue kind of builds up a little bit, but then I just peel those little boogers off. Only baking, nothing but baking. Okay. But are they works of art? I know I made a chicken pot pie from scratch quite some time ago. It was a lot of work. It was big, but I did everything from scratch. The sauciness inside, the vegetables, you know, all cut up and everything. It's not like I used bag stuff. But for the top, the lattice, I actually cut like designs out of my dough and had little like leaves and stuff on the top of it. It was really kind of fun, but time consuming. I do sourdough bread, sourdough discard peanut butter cookies. The sourdough is kind of putsy. That takes some time usually. It should inspire him with the layers and colors, right? All right, I think those look really nice. I like those. I like that. All right, and then this piece, oh, this piece is too short. I need to cut another one because I want that to go the whole length of my card. Yes. We'll just save this to use on another project. I must have cut it down to 5 1/4. Nothing inspires you to bake juju. Whoops. And then 5 1/2, not 5 1/4. It occurred to me that I probably should have checked the design on the back to see if it mattered what I wanted to keep or what I wanted to get rid of. All right, we'll put these back with the designer series paper. And then what we'll do is, oh, we want to make sure our hearts are right side up. So I'm going to put glue on this side. Oh, there, yeah. Paper snowflakes. We used to do this a lot. All right. So what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to take this. I'm not going to try to lay this on. I'm going to put that piece right on the edge of my card. Now I cut, this is 4 1/4, right? 4 1/4 across here for half a card base, and then 5 1/2 here. I cut it just a smidge short of the 4 1/4, just so that I could have that score line taken into consideration. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to press that over. Okay. And then here, I don't know if we should have some cherry cobbler behind there. I don't want to have like a ton of color. Or maybe I should just put that piece a full inch instead of having any white layer on there. Of course, we're not going to see some of that. We're only going to see it there, because this is going to go here. I think I can probably leave it. Oh, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put this piece all the way to the edge, I think. Do you agree? I'm going to put it all the way to the edge here. Oh, Nicole, you're watching a Western? Oh, that's funny. All right, so I'm going to move this piece all the way over the edge. This piece, this little white strip that's there, is not even going to show by the time we get these on and the arch on. So we're just going to go with that. We're going to go with the narrow piece, but I'll have it all the way to the edge. And I like that. Those are just like little pink polka dots in there. Flirty flamingo pink. All right, let's get this off to the edge. And press it down so it's to the edges of the card, both top, bottom, and side. All right, nice. All right. Now, We know we can go as far as that white edge. And we can go down about 1.5 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue up here along that white edge and estimate about 1 inch or so. And then I'm going to put it here. And I think we'll be all right. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that'll work. Oh, you know what? Because we're not going to have the open edge here, I can put glue across this whole piece. What am I thinking? Because we're ditching the sketch again. We're not going to do those open edges. Because they just didn't seem like they served a real purpose to me. I like it better with the hearts on the background. I think that was a good call too. Sometimes I just forget where we're heading. My brain gets stuck in one gear. And then this one, I could try to measure, but you know me, I'm just going to eyeball it. And that looks pretty close to me. All right, this I want to put up on dimensionals, I think. I think it needs just a little lift. But first, we need to get a sentiment on here somehow. So I thought I could pull out this 12 Days of Crafting Advent stamp and use the U on here and the love from here and stamp. We'll see how it looks. I got my little bits and pieces in here. Because I like the block lettering of the U. If you lift, won't the white stripe you left show? I don't think it will, because that's in a little ways. And if I use one of my adhesive strips, it's going to cover it, because that's going to go up here. And the adhesive is going to go right on. I think the adhesive will go right on there. I don't think that's going to be a problem at all. I'll just make sure that I put it kind of at the edge. Okay, but I love this. And it's so cute with that purple on the inside. So cute. All right, so I am going to, let's do you on a block here. And I have some tape somewhere. It is my Post-it tape. But do I know where it is right now? I'm looking and I'm looking. There it is. I moved a few things around, so I'm going to do this Post-it tape for labeling the cover up, and I'm going to put that right here. We'll take a little bit more off of here. I'm going to put that here, and we're going to cover up the miss, and hopefully this will work. And I'm going to get a piece of white, just a little scrappy here. And we're going to do cherry cobbler. And so I need to make sure that I stay on screen here. So I'm stamping that on over where I masked, and then I'm just going to peel this off. And then when we stamp, we only have you. Yeah, it is a really good tool, isn't it, Nicole? I don't use it that often because I forget I have it. All right, so let's close up the red ink, or the cherry cobbler, I mean. We're going to trim off the piece here. Can't get those scraps off of here. There we go. Just flick them off. That'll work. And then let's go ahead and get some adhesive strips on here. And I probably don't need them all the way around here, but I'm going to do it anyway. Now, the other thing is on the curve, if we just snip a little bit, I don't want to snip all the way through, but just enough. If anybody did sewing, we used to do that in sewing when we had curves. Or sometimes we'd cut a little wedge out. Or was that just my sewing class? Thanks for hanging in there, Steph. And thank you for your suggestions. I think it looks good. And I'll try to get this posted to my Facebook page sooner rather than later, but you just never know. You just never know. All right, so let's do a few more snips. It does look good. So now I'm thinking, do we want to fussy cut the love or just block cut it? I'm actually thinking fussy cutting would be a nice look. Or I could rip. I could just rip these too, because that almost looks like ripped paper, don't you think? Maybe. And then let's just see how much of this I need. Yeah, and if we don't like ripped, we can always just get another one, right? All right, and I think I'll put this right here and this right here, and then I can get rid of this package. And I have another one. I opened it up. I took it to my class yesterday. All right, so let's go ahead and take all of this off. Some of those obviously cut all the way through, which is fine. All right. And if I was going to stamp on here, I would not have put those adhesive strips on yet. I think that looks pretty centered. All right, and you cannot, there might be a little itty bitty corner of white in here, but if they're scrutinizing my card that much, maybe they don't deserve a card. Just kidding. All right, I just missed the garbage can. All right, and then let me wash this off, although it's going to be pink forever, but that I'm all right with that. And then let's get this put away. maybe. Put that away. And let's, oh, we were gonna rip, right? Let her rip. So the designer series paper, because they're printed on, not dyed, they have the white core. And I just want to make sure I'm pulling the one side toward me so that I get that white core to show. And then that'll go up like so. Do I need to rip the edges or keep them straight? I think rip them. Rip the sides or leave them straight. And then let's get these ripped. Okay. And I'm gonna put that on dimensionals too, even though I have this raised. I don't care. I want this raised also. And I'm gonna do a little bit of corner crumpling there. But I do have some dimensionals that are from a kit, and they're just a little bit flatter than the regular dimensionals. So I think that'll give it just enough lift. So that'll go there. And I think I like you canted like that as opposed to straight. What do you think? Straight or canted? I got a lot of debris going on here. Whew. All right, canted. Yeah, I think that works too. Yeah, these whatever they're called. What are they called? They are called Loose Valentine's Assortments. So if you're a demonstrator, you can get them now because they are available on pre-order. And like I said, we've got free shipping through midnight Utah time, Friday. I think I had, yeah, I had it canted that way. I think they're just adorable. And those little envelopes, I think that's what really caught my eye, was those little envelopes. Love you. And then let's see what little pieces. Now I can hang on to this and I can turn this into a card. So I'm not getting rid of that. And I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to take this off, but I'm going to leave this like that so that I can trim it to whatever size I need. All right, so let's see kind of what we want. We've got the dark pink hearts, which are probably the Flirty Flamingo. We've got white ones, which I think would look good. And these light pink ones. Oops. Whoops. Flying hearts going on there. Yeah, I'm going to find some lips because I think those would be cute. I want to make sure it looks like, yep, that looks like little lips. Oh, that is adorable. Those are adorable. Hopefully they'll look like lips to whoever I want to send this little kiss to, right? Do we like the lips in the O for the love? And then should we do these little hearts just random on here? Or on the back side? I like this little envelope too, but I just don't think it works with what we're doing here. So I think I'm going to save those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we kind of need another one. I think we'll do maybe another dark one. And these are kind of foamy-ish, I think. Yeah, these are flexible. They're kind of foamy. All right, so I'm going to cover those. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the lips I'm not counting. And one in the middle of the O. So we'll put the little lips in there. All right. So this will be fun. We'll see if I can get just enough glue without having too much. Okay. And I think what I'm going to do is maybe let those dry just a little bit. And then they're not quite as squishy. They'll be more like a little repositionable glue dot almost. And then I could probably actually put just a little bit more glue on there. Make sure they stick. So I'm going to go ahead and let those cure a little bit. I think that'll be good. All right, so the lips are on there. Let's put just a little bit more glue there. So these, I'm going to let this set, but those will all go on kind of random. Some will be right side up, kind of like this designer series paper. And that's it. So here's our sketch. So we made it a little different. This was actually a Christmas sketch, and this was a poinsettia. And then they used Christmas paper instead of where we've got the stripes. That was all Christmas paper behind there with the solid color mats. So I love this. I think it's adorable. Well, everybody everybody contributed, I think, with an opinion. So it's so fun. I'm going to probably go through this pack of paper pretty quickly. So there's there's 6 designs. You get 8 of each. There should be 48. Yep, there's 48 sheets of 6x6. So the other thing that I saw that I thought was kind of fun is, let's find a design that maybe is kind of, oh, this will work, I think. That'll be kind of weird. Folding it so that we could create pockets and putting that on a card and then putting tags in it. And you gals that do the journaling, I think that would be fun. You gals are all good with pockets, so you can kind of coach me on maybe the best way to do that. So maybe I'll try to do that tomorrow. All right, that's it. I'm going to put this stamp away. This 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar is on the last chance list. So if you were thinking about getting it, remember, that's the one that looks like it's a Christmas set, but it's not. It's an all occasion set that's designed for Christmas gifting. So if you want to get it, check my website and get it before it's gone, because they won't get any more, because it's dated 2025. So When they're gone, they're gone. All right, just the box is dated 2025. All right, well, thank you everybody for joining me. I appreciate the company. I appreciate the contributions. Well, thank you, Robert. I'm glad you liked it. And until next time, I guess, which will be in like, I don't know, 22, 23 hours, I will say, happy crafting.